Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, we're jumping straight in today because there's some really big news.
Yeah, definitely.
On September 19th, just this week, President Trump signed a proclamation, and it looks like it's going to raise the annual fee for H-1B visas, well, to $100,000.
100,000 annually. It's a staggering figure.
Ugh.
And maybe just for context, the H-1B, it's not new,
Right.
created back in 1990. It's for those specialty jobs, the ones
Okay.
needing at least a bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Normally you get 3 years, maybe extendable for another 3.
Right.
And there's a cap, right? 65,000 per year.
Plus the extra bit for people with U.S. masters or PhDs.
Exactly. Another 20,000 slots for them.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We're going from what? The current fee is tiny, right? Like $215
Much, yeah. An administrative fee.
to $100,000 a year. This feels like more than just covering costs. What's the administration actually saying is the goal here?
Well, the official rationale, coming from folks like Staff Secretary Will Scharf, is that they see the H-1B program as, and this is a quote, one of the most abused visa systems.
Abused how?
The idea they're putting forward is that this massive fee, the $100,000, is meant to guarantee that the workers brought in are, quote, actually very highly skilled, and crucially, that they aren't replacing American workers.
Okay.
President Trump even insisted the tech industry wouldn't push back, saying, we need great workers.
But there's another side to this, isn't there? The sources point to a long-standing critique of the program that sort of frames this move differently.
Absolutely. The critics have argued for years that some companies, especially maybe outsourcing firms, use the H-1B basically as a pipeline.
A pipeline for cheaper labor.
Yeah, bringing in workers willing to take, say, $60,000 a year, which is, significantly less than the typical $100,000 plus salaries for similar tech jobs filled by U.S. workers.
Okay, so the fee acts like a wage floor almost.
Exactly. Think about it. If you're paying someone $60, and now you have to add a $100 K fee on top.
Suddenly that worker costs you $160,000.
Right. It completely wipes out the cost-saving angle. It forces companies to either pay the higher market rate U.S. wages anyway, or absorb this huge fee that effectively sets a minimum cost.
But if the goal is just getting those truly extraordinary people, doesn't a flat $100,000 fee potentially hurt, say, smaller companies, maybe innovative startups?
That's a really important point.
They might have an amazing candidate, truly skilled, but just not have the capital for that entry ticket right away.
Yeah, and that speaks to the ripple effects. There's an immigration lawyer, Sophie Alcorn, whose analysis really highlights this. This fee, assuming it survives legal challenges, creates enormous uncertainty.
How so?
Well, it makes job mobility really difficult, right? And renewals suddenly become incredibly expensive. Think about someone coming up for their 3-year extension.
And we mentioned who this impacts most. Didn't we say Indian professionals are a huge majority of H-1B holders?
Over 70%. So yes, this policy shift lands very heavily on that specific group.
And if things get uncertain or too expensive here, people have other options, right? They might look elsewhere.
They definitely do. And that's the global competition angle. It's a real risk. Employers might hesitate to hire or renew because of the cost and uncertainty.
So the talent goes somewhere else.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
They might return to India or, and this is key, they might be snapped up by other countries actively recruiting skilled workers. The sources specifically mentioned Canada, which has really streamlined its immigration. Also the UK with its global talent visa. And increasingly, you see the UAE and Saudi Arabia really making plays for global tech talent.
Okay, so there's this tension. The U.S. says it wants the absolute best, the extraordinary people, but the mechanism, this huge cost, creates a ton of instability, especially for the vast majority already here. Here's where it gets really interesting, I think, when you look bigger picture.
Yeah, because if you step back, this might not just be about the H-1B in isolation. The same proclamation apparently also mentioned hiking fees for other visas.
Like which ones?
Investor visas, for example. The talk is about doubling those fees, maybe from $10K to $20K. So a final thought, maybe something for you to consider. Is this just about protecting U.S. jobs in specific sectors? Or could this be the beginning of a broader strategy? Using visa fees almost like a weapon across different categories.
To control who comes in, to raise the bar generally.
Exactly. Raising the barrier for almost anyone looking to work or invest long-term in the U.S. And the big question then becomes, if these policies stick, if they survive the court battles that are surely coming, what does that actually do to U.S. competitiveness on the global stage?